Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Talking Shit with Deja, where we drop the eye because not only I want to talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Hope y'all are doing lovely on whatever day you're listening to this. I said I was gonna work on this intro, but at this point, it's my thing. But I do want to say something different, and I might next season. It might be a new welcome intro tagline because I hope you all are doing lovely on this. It loses me, but you know, gotta roll with who I am, and who I am this season is I hope you all are doing lovely on this beautiful day whenever you're listening to this podcast episode situation here. I hope you all are doing great. Um, y'all, this week, because we're continuing the personal growth and personal development and self growth journey. Oh my god, y'all! Only three more episodes. Well, technically, this is an episode, so only two more episodes of the season because I believe this is episode 8. So we got 9 and 10. Only two more. Oh my god! I've learned so much about myself in these last 8 weeks or 7 weeks. Can't wait to see how I end it off, but y'all, this week I want to talk about not taking things personally. And what's crazy is I did an episode on this before. And if you don't know, now you know. Go check it out. Plug. But I did an episode on this before, but I feel like it's definitely come back around so much, especially in this job that I have right now. It's come back so much just learning how to not take things personally. And I'm like really, 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 really working on, applying this at home, like with family and everything, but one step at a time. But like this has really come back up because I've been paying attention to, you know, people and how we react to things that people do around us and everything like that. And in this space that I'm in now, like I'm in such a space where I do my best to not hold anything against anybody because I can't change that. But what I can do is like react in a better way or, let somebody know how I'm feeling or whatever the case may be. Like I have control over what I can control, and that's how you respond and how you communicate. And so, I definitely want to talk about not taking things personally because and going through the episode last week, it actually made me think about, this as well as just going through things in general and talking with people and everything like that. It's just realizing like the way in which people react to things to me that I see now, especially when it comes to like how they may hurt another individual or make another individual feel a type of way. Like I'm really starting to learn that has more to do with them and them protecting themselves rather than, actually trying to hurt people or inflict, pain onto someone else. Now, is it some people that are intentionally going out their way to make a bitch feel how they felt? Maybe. But when you think about it, a lot of this stuff be so subconscious, and that, like they said, like hurt people, or we love to what is it, have people join in on our suffering, like misery loves company type of thing. And so like I just been paying attention, especially just to how people respond, how people navigate, how people are, doing different things when it comes to conflict. And I genuinely, and this is just my opinion and it could be off, who knows, is for me to think and for you to possibly agree or disagree, but I genuinely think that the way in which people respond is more so out of protection to them and not necessarily to hurt anybody, because ultimately we seek protection, safety, security, all of that. And if we can't find that in our surroundings and everything, we end up having to do it ourselves. But depending on how we grew up, how we seen the people around us, protect themselves, quote unquote, so to speak, that determines how we protect ourselves. So maybe if you seen your parent have to fight their way out of a situation to protect themselves because maybe the other parent was verbally saying things to maybe protect themselves, type of thing, like you know now, depending on your character and which one you pick up, maybe you're the person that will now verbally, you know, quote unquote, abuse someone because you're trying to protect yourself, or you're the one who physically abuse someone because you're trying to protect yourself. Like, it's just gonna play out in different ways depending on who you are, what you pick up on, and stuff like that. Like, I know for me, I I know I can verbally abuse. I know that it's possible because I've seen it. And I know that that's my thing. I didn't get to see the physical side of, the people around me to have picked up that as a trait. But if I feel like I am being harmed in any way, whether it's emotionally, mentally, whatever. It's never really physically, but if I feel like I'm being harmed, I I will definitely protect myself with words. Um, don't necessarily know if they'll be super vulgar, but it'll get the point across. So it's like that's how I learned how to defend myself, because I seen my mom have to do that. I seen the people around me have to use their words to get them out of a situation to protect themselves. And so that's my thing. But, I have siblings and family members who may use their hands to get them out of situations because they seen that and it was kind of normalized, quote unquote, to them to get themselves out of the situation, to protect themselves. They use these hands because they're trying to protect themselves. So I genuinely came to the consensus just off of paying attention to people. I don't really think, and it's crazy because we have made the saying misery loves company, and all of those sayings such a thing. Like, people are intentionally going out here trying to hurt people, and I personally don't think that's the case. I think that so many people are so hurt and they're going around just trying to protect themselves because there's so much hurt instilled within them that the people they keep attracting into their space keep bumping up against the things that keep hurting them, and so they're fighting their way out of the situation in the best way they know how. And it looks like they're trying to inflict this pain onto somebody else, and it's just like, no, they're trying to make their pain lessen by, doing whatever the case outwardly may be. And then I'm not even going to always say outwardly. There's a lot of people that self harm that don't even feel comfortable putting that pain out into the world. Some people will cut themselves to help them to feel better. Some people will unfortunately take their own lives to help them to feel better. So it's like, I genuinely don't think no one is out here just inflicting pain for the sake of inflicting pain, unless you're, is it a masochist? I don't even know if that's the word, but it sounds extreme and it sounds like they do it. But like a masochist, or or the devil. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but those are the only people I feel that would be going around, purposely just, let me just make your day bad just for the sake of making your day bad. Like, And is it some people out there that's probably like that? Maybe. But being that, if we all come from God and God is love, you mean to tell me that the people out here that are just, there's people out here that's just going around just inflicting pain on people just for the sake of it? Like, something, to me, something has to be up under that. And maybe to someone else, they'll be like, no, that person's just an asshole. And I'm like, we all come from one source, and that one source is supposed to be love. So if that's the case, you're not gonna tell me this motherfucker just asshole. Like, there's something up under there, and it's so deep up under there that maybe we can't even get to that thing that is causing the pain, and now they're stuck in a mode where they're forever inflicting it because they don't even know how to get to the space where they can even point out what is hurting, what is it that they're trying to protect themselves from, because it's so deep and it's been done so consistently that they don't even know how to stop the pain. So now they just constantly protecting themselves in the worst way, and they do it with everyone that comes into their space. Sounds a little bit like what they call a narcissist, but that's neither here nor there. I think I'm starting to become one of those people that be like, people use the word too much, and granted, I might have already been that person, because I'm pretty sure I said that back some episodes ago. And I don't know, go look at all of them. Let me know if I said this, but I genuinely am becoming the person that says that people use the word narcissist too much. I wanted to retire. That's just me. I think the word needs to retire, because up under all of that is a person that's just constantly been hurt, and they're just looking for a way to protect themselves, and that's the best way they know how, is to do what was done to them to other people. But what do I know? I don't know nothing. I'm just on this earth observing as I go. But to me, that's what it seems to be like when I'm looking at all of these different examples of what a narcissist is, because everybody got an example nowadays. And it's funny how it's only the men mostly, or maybe because I gotta go to the men's side. Maybe men say that women are narcissists too, but for some reason it always seems like the men are just narcissists. But I gotta go to the other side of the internet where they call the women narcissists too. But needless to say, everybody's a narcissist, but it seems like, this one person has been inflicted so much pain that their whole being is now about protecting themselves in the wrong way. And it's not until one they probably become cognizant, but I would imagine if your brain gets so stuck in that space that you don't even know how to get out of it, it may be damn near impossible to even get to a different habit or different habit of doing something outside of the normal. Like, I would imagine, what's I'm trying to think, because y'all know I don't like to use people as examples because I don't know these people, but I can't even think of who just, it's always somebody, but I can't think of somebody recently that I've seen, get called a narcissist. Um, but, you know, needless to say, without the example, oh, yeah, the ace metaphor guy and the Keto Rose situation. If you don't know, go look them up and you'll easily find them. But basically, Keto, prescribed him with being a narcissist or whatever the case may be. But then they also talk about the fact that, he's gone through so much trauma when he was younger and everything like that. And it just sounds like he's now become the abuser that was abused, the abusee becoming the abuser, basically. And it's like, to me, it just sounds like somebody who was so stuck in the pain or the trauma of what happened to them that now their reality has become that of the abuser that was inflicted onto them. Like, that's how they protect themselves, is I can never run into this type of person ever again if I become this type of person, because this type of person can't be me if I'm this type of person. So if I become them, then I don't ever have to worry about them ever inflicting pain on me ever again. And not to say that this is his mindset. Again, this is why I don't speak on people because I don't know him. But it just, on the outside looking in, some of these people is just like, if I become the abuser, I never have to get abused ever again. If I become what inflicted pain on me, I don't have to worry about dealing with this pain again. Like that, like that's the thing of it, is I genuinely think that that's their way of protecting themselves. That's their way of not putting themselves in this situation. But does everybody do that? No, not everybody. But I do think that there's going to be people that are going to, their brains are going to wire it that way. If I become the monster, you never get to scare me again. It makes sense, like that. And it also makes me think of like when a woman has gone through sexual assault, and then now, instead of, you know becoming demure or hiding their body and everything like that, they'll become like promiscuous, so to speak, or they'll freely give it out. And it's like that sense of, well, if I give it to you freely, I don't ever have to worry about you ever taking it away from me like you took it away from me when I was younger, type thing. Y'all, excuse me. You know what's crazy? Now that I think about this, I don't even know how this ties in with don't take it personal, but I feel like I'm on the roll. So, but it's just like that's the thing of this thing called life. You never know how somebody's gonna receive what they've went through, like how they're gonna put it out into the world. But I genuinely just think that people are all out here just trying to not hurt and end up hurting others, and they're just trying to not hurt. And it sucks. I don't even know. I kind of threw myself off by like saying I don't know how this ties in, and it probably ties in. What's crazy is when you're doing these episodes and you're talking from off the dome, and because I'm by myself, it's sometimes hard to know if I be on track or not. So my bad, y'all, but I probably was flowing at everything, but it's just like real shit. And so in this job that I'm working in, um I just see that so much, where something happens, and the way in which someone responds, you just be like, I don't think they're trying to be an ass. I think that something about what was said rubbed up against their wounds, and before you can genuinely hurt me, I'm gonna say something to possibly hurt you so that you can shut this shit down so I don't have to feel hurt anymore. And then like that becomes like a thing. So, and the reason why I kind of tied this in with don't take it personally is because I got this book, The Four Agreements. If you can see, there we go. The Four Agreements. It's a really good book. I actually need to read through the whole thing, and now that I'm off, because it's my off days, I think I'm gonna go through this book because it's not a long read, and just reading through the little bit that I just read through, it was fire. But I knew there would be some good stuff to help with this episode. So there's a part in the book that says, don't take anything personally because by taking things personally, you set yourself up to suffer for nothing. Humans are addicted to suffering at different levels and to different degrees, and we support each other in maintaining these addictions. Humans agree to help each other suffer. If you have the need to be abused, you will find it easy to be abused by others. Likewise, if you are with people who need to suffer, something in you makes you abuse them. It is as if they have a note on their back that says, "Please kick me." They are asking for justification for their suffering. Their addiction to suffering is nothing but an agreement that is reinforced every day. Wherever you go, you will find people lying to you. And as your awareness grows, you will notice that you will also lie to yourself. Do not expect people to tell you the truth because they also lie to themselves. You have to trust yourself and choose to believe or not to believe what someone says to you. When we really see other people as they are without taking it personally, we can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it is okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid. They are afraid you will discover that they are not perfect. It is painful to take that social mask off. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. But if you are truthful with yourself, you will save yourself a lot of emotional pain. Telling yourself the truth about it may hurt, but you don't need to be attached to the pain. Healing is only Healing is on the way, and it's just a matter of time before things will be better for you. Like, y'all, just that alone, like, I can't wait to read through this book. That alone is like facts. Like, in those moments where people kind of come at you, it's just like, and I know even for me, I have a hard time. I be having to stop and pause and really think about it and not let it get to me too much, because how people show up in life is a representation of them and them alone. Now, granted, can some of us be assholes sometimes? Can some of us be negative, or can some of us be bad guys? Can some of us be villains? Can some all the negative, can we be that? Maybe. But I think, the way in which people present things to you says a lot more about them than it will ever say about you. And the way you show up says everything about you, because that's all you can control. So there's like this lady at work, and I was just telling my friend about this lady. Like, every time I'm like in her vicinity or whatever, and I'm doing my best like not to take it personally, because I realized that that's just a her thing, and I just realized like that's not my cup of tea type of thing. So I do my best to stay away. But every time I'm around this lady, she'll make like a little slick comment, and she'll try to laugh it off and everything like that. But she'll make little slick comments. And it's one talking about, my character, talking about the things that I do, different things like that. And like, I be having to remind myself, like, this lady don't know you. She don't know you. She ain't grow up with you. She ain't none of that. Like, I don't have full blown conversations with her. I don't do none of that. So whatever she says is predicated on her and how she grew up and her background and everything like that. It has nothing to do with me. Of course, it's always gonna, when somebody does something to you, it's always gonna rub up against your nervous system and make you want to be like, bitch, who the fuck you talking to? But you try to be not that person, especially because you're at work. You got to be respectful. You got to be professional. All this other stuff. But like, I noticed, I paid attention to this way, way long ago, but it's been way more prevalent now. It's like every time I'm around, she says something slick about something that like it don't even make sense. So it be losing me, and I really just be like, okay, bet. I know to stay away from you because that's yeah, no. Like I'm not that person that wants to be abused anymore. Like the abuse I'm tired like I say all the time on this podcast. I'm tired of running my head up against the wall just to get the I'm tired of giving myself a concussion. I'm not the person that wants to be abused. I'm I'm tired of being abused. So like that type of person would never be anybody that I hang out with on the regular basis. Whether you're playing or not, just shit like that just never rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, not the wrong way, never rubbed me the right way. Like it's always something that you gotta pick at and poke at, and then you do it in the sake of I'm just joking, or you try to laugh it off like it's supposed to be a joke, and it's like no, that's who you are. You're somebody that gotta find something in somebody and say something as if you know this person, because you haven't tried to have a conversation with me. You haven't tried to talk to me. You haven't tried to get to know me. You haven't done anything of that nature. But you'll make a slick comment. You'll talk about something and be like, oh, because you never do. Like, you don't know. You don't know what I got going on. Because you say this, but if you ask my team, they'll say something completely different. So it's just like it's so it is freeing to be like that's that don't apply. So I'm gonna let it fly. But it do get to a point too where you know I do my best to protect my energy so I don't stay around her too long. Once she go to doing that stupid shit, I go in the opposite direction. I don't stay around. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you laugh and joke and kiki about shit. Like that's not me. But maybe that's how you grew up. Maybe that's how you show connection. Maybe that was your thing, or whatever the case may be. I didn't grow up that way. So I can't be around you. And I'm not going to stoop down to your level. I'm not going to try to, make you feel how you making me. Like, I don't even want to, that's not even the space that I want my energy to go in. I'm in such a good space right now. Energetically, I'm in such a good space right now that I don't even want to be around that. So I like exit stage left whenever she go with the bullshit, or I like completely ignore it and let her do whatever, because that says more about you and your character than it will ever say about me. Like people, I think a lot of people hide behind jokes for the sake of, oh, it's funny, hee hee ha ha. Now you hide behind a joke when you could just say it with your chest. Like whatever you're feeling, you could feel, but just know that you don't know me to feel it. Like you don't know me to feel it. Just like I would never speak on you and I don't know you. Like I don't know you at all. But it is certain people you be like, oh yeah, she was problematic. She was problematic. I could tell she was problematic growing up. And it's funny because she's had like issues, run-ins with her coworkers or whatever, and will try to blame it on the coworkers and everything like that. And it's just like, you ever thought about the fact that you're the common denominator? But it's still everybody else's like it's everybody else's fault. They're the problem, but you're always in something with somebody. Okay, noted. Like I just be paying attention like to stuff like that. And of course there's so many other examples at the job that you just catch and everything like that, but that one is just the one that keeps like it makes me wonder like what irritates your spirit about me? Like is it because I come in here and I'm like confident, um I'm being true to myself, I'm being me. Like I don't know what it is where you feel like You have to say something negative about whatever I got going on to do what? I don't know. So, like, this is like one of those tests where I'm just like, okay, let's not take it personally because that's a her thing and she don't know you. She'll never know you because that's not even somebody you want to get to know. I promise you it's not. So it's just like, that's a test. And baby, trust me, there's a lot of tests at this job. Like, even there was a situation with another coworker where and there's been like two kind of similar incidences, and I'm just like learning to take my shit out of it because I don't know what the intent behind what they got going on is, and I don't know. But both of this, they're similar incidences, two different coworkers. They both presented something to me, and I would tell them like, "Hey, I don't know who this person is because I have a whole team of case managers. We have 150 people. I only deal with maybe 18 of the 150 people at a time. So I don't know damn that majority of the people at the facility. So both of them approach me about someone, and I would be like, I don't know who this is. So the one person was just like, well, they told me that you were their case manager, so I just wanted to come bring it to you. And I'm just like, I don't know who this is or whatever. And you're still standing 10 toes on, well, they mentioned you, and when I, described you, they were like, yeah, that's her. And I'm just like, I don't know who this is. So finally we pull it up in the system, and as we can see, it was a whole different case manager that was assigned to that person. And it's like it irritated me because it's like, if you come to me with whatever information and it's pertaining to me and I say I don't know, the fact that we don't move on to, okay, well, who is this person, case manager, rather than you is the case manager, like you are the person. You are the person because somebody else said something, you are the person. And it's like, no, the person who you are accusing is letting you know she knows nothing about what you're talking about. And instead of moving on, you're just like, no, no, no. Then the other situation was basically the same thing where the guy calls me and he's just like, the system said that you're his case manager or whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, well, no, he's not mine. And he's like, oh, well, I guess I can't read because I see your name. Your name is da 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 da. And I'm like, he's not mine, but I can look to see who he belongs to. Lo and behold, when I pull up our spreadsheet, he belongs to a different case manager. And so it's just like, I'm trying to take my shit away from it because it's like, that's one of those things that trigger me because it's like, you're not hearing me. I'm speaking to you and you're not listening to me. And that to me bothers me. I don't like not being heard, especially when I'm more than willing to talk. And when you dismiss me or don't listen to me, that is a big trigger for me. But then I'm just like, okay, this says more about them that they don't trust people. Like this is them, and it has nothing to do with you. Whether it was you or somebody else, they don't trust people, and so you got to be able to show verbatim that that's the situation. And that genuinely will never, that could be the scenario with anyone. They're going to show up that way and it has nothing to do with you. But again, when you're like trying to deal with your own stuff, it's like it's triggering you and you're trying not to come back at them and everything. And it's just like, it's so hard to navigate it. But it's like being able to really pause, or at least not react in the moment, because you try not to react in the moment, but being able to really remove yourself from that situation emotionally to be like, okay, there's got to be a reason why they don't hear what I'm saying. Like, it got to be a reason, because if you're accusing me of whatever and I'm telling you that it's not me, and you still don't believe me, who you're accusing, who is aware of everything she got going on, I be aware of what I got going on. Now, maybe other people don't. I don't know. But if you know Deja, I'm very much aware of what I got going on. It's very rare. I'm not gonna say always, because of course we can mess up. There's been times where there was somebody on my caseload and I might have missed them on our spreadsheet, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't know they were mine. But for the most part, 9 times out of 10, 99.999, like, I know what I got going on. And when you know that about me, then you know that if I give you my word, I'm not lying to you. But again, if you're somebody that don't trust people, and people usually deceive you, or you're somebody who doesn't like to be wrong, or whatever the case may be, whether I get like just go off of words or not, like, that just probably won't be likely. But like I said, there's so many different scenarios where I'm just learning not to take things personally. Now, the hardest battle has been with my family, especially being at home with my mom, because like it's so much where you just like, you just take it personally immediately. Like, I know for me, I'm not a fan of nobody asking me some shit I feel like they should already know. I'm not a fan, especially when it comes to like family. Like, and I be trying so hard not to let, I don't know if I be trying that hard. Let me stop lying. It depends on the day. On the day, I can reel it in. Depending on the day, I can reel it in. But like, depending on another day, it's gonna come out. Like, if you ask me something and I feel like you should know it, it immediately makes my nerves bad, because how am I living in the house with you and you still don't know what I got going on? But then I try to remember too, and this is another thing too, is that I don't be knowing everything too. And I be trying, I be working, let's say not trying, let's stop saying trying. I be working on providing grace, especially in the spaces where I may do the same thing. I definitely do pay more attention than others, but I'm also younger. My brain is probably functioning way better than my 58-year-old mothers and stuff like that. And then again, it goes back to my thing of seen not being seen and heard. So I think I mentioned that last week. That is a trigger for me, not being seen and heard. And if you're asking me a question that I feel like you should know the answer to, you're triggering my not being seen, and it makes me like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know? Like, and then it just comes out, and I really have to work on that with family or just people that's close to me. I feel like people that are close to me get the reaction way more than people that I don't know. Like, it's so easy to not take things personally with people I don't know. And I'm pretty sure I probably said this in the Don't Take It Personal episode, but like, that's real shit. With people I don't know, it's so easy not to take things personally, because bitch, you don't know me. What you say don't mean shit to me. But like, when it's people that are close to you, who are supposed to know you, or at least you think they're supposed to know you, it hits a little different. But then I start to realize too, like, a lot of us in families, we're not fostering relationships. I think we have the relationship because we're blood, but we don't nurture them. Like, it's so much about my family I don't know at all. And it's so much about me they don't know at all. And it's like working on not taking that personally because I'm in the same boat as them. I'm not trying to get to know nobody unless like they're trying to get to know me. But other than that, I'm not trying to get to know nobody. And so I literally can't be upset when people don't know. I think with my mom is a little different because I'm in the house with you. Again, I'm in the house with you every day. Like how you don't know what's going on. Like it'd be different if I was like out on my own and everything like that and you're not with me on a day-to-day basis. But to me it's just like dang, like you don't know what's going on and I've been in the house with you every day. But then it's just like, okay, my mom is working hella hours to barely even leave out her room because her desk is in her room. So it makes sense. And it's just working to have more of understanding and, not thinking that they're not trying to see you and not trying to hear you, that they just have so much of their own shit going on that when they do get a chance to come up for air and look around, they've missed so much and have to catch up. But from your point of view, because I'm very vigilant and like all the stuff that I can catch, I'm just like, okay, I done caught all this, but you ain't caught nothing. But it's like I don't have the same responsibilities. I don't have the same responsibilities as you. So I can be more vigilant. I can pay attention more. I could do these things. So it's just like, oh, really learning how to do that and really taking that up under my belt. That's going to help with how I navigate my attitude because it definitely comes off that way very easily, very quickly. Like I said, being not seen and not heard in my family is definitely a big trigger. And like it gets what is it, ignited or irritated, I don't even know what the word would be, but it gets inflamed constantly because this is a family where we're not, being intentional about knowing each other. And so it's like the only person right now that I have that with right now is my sister. And even still, she still don't know stuff about me and I probably still don't know stuff about her. And so it's like you're constantly being like that wound is being bumped up against because you're also not doing the steps to be seen and be heard. It's so weird. Like, you know what to do to stop your hurting, but you don't do it. My bad, y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry, baby. This is personal development, self growth. It's the season for crying. It's the season for crying. But you basically know how to not hurt yourself, and you just don't do it. And I think that's why, like, honestly, ignorance is bliss sometimes because when you don't know, you get to blame everybody else for hurting you. But the moment you become self aware, you're the only one responsible for hurting you. Like, once you become aware, you're the only one hurting you at that point. And then you got to decide, like, do I want to continue hurting myself or do I want to, not feel this way on a daily basis or, majority of the time? And that's a you thing. And you got to decide what you want to do. And so, I definitely agree with the ignorance is bliss because before I went on this journey, I could blame it on everybody. I can blame everything on everybody else. And I think that's how we get so much of the victim mentality is because when you really start uncovering stuff and becoming aware, you get to blame it on whatever is around you, your external circumstances. You get to blame everything around you. The moment you start being like, okay, you know what? Actually, I'm the one that keeps deciding to do this. I'm the one that keeps deciding to do that. I'm the one that, hasn't changed this habit, or I'm the one that didn't do this differently. Like, I'm the one that didn't respond this way. I'm the one that, like, when you start being like, I'm the one that keeps hurting myself. I'm the one that, like they said, like it says, I'm the one that keeps giving myself the things that keep abusing me. I'm the one that keeps being around those people that need to be abused. I'm the one that won't break the cycle. I'm the one that won't do something different. And who wants to be that aware? Who wants to be that person? To be like, I'm the one keeping me in the same place that I don't want to be in. It's a big pill to swallow. But, that's the power we truly have. That's the power we truly have. And I think when you're ignorant, everybody else has that power. When you become aware, you get that power back. Do you use that power for good, or do you use that power for bad? Do you keep putting yourself in the same situations that make you feel like shit? Or do you now be cognizant and vigilant and, aware of what you're doing in your day to day? Because it's up to you to change your reality. It's up to you to create the life in which you want to live. It's up to you to ensure that the pain that you are receiving in your life is that good pain that we talked about and not that bad pain. See how it always comes back together? It always ties in, It's up to you to decide what pain. Choose ye this day what pain you will serve. But yeah, just this is a good journey to be on. Like, if I don't encourage you to do nothing else, it's to really start paying attention. Start really waking up to you. Like, when people be like, oh, I'm woke and all this other stuff, like, are you woke to you, though? Are you paying attention to you, though? Are you realizing that you are creating your reality? So if you're lonely, you are doing that. If you are hurting, you are doing that. All of this stuff, unless you're a kid, and you don't have consent or authority over yourself, you are putting yourself in all the predicaments. And even I think at a certain age as a kid, you still have to, I think once you get around that high school mark or even that middle school mark, you still can make informed decisions if you have good guidance, of course. You gotta have great guidance, but you get to start making decisions for yourself too. There's a reason why I was not pregnant at 16, but maybe some of the people around me were. There's a reason why I didn't lose my virginity until 17, but some people around me had did that before. There's a reason why a lot of things never transpire. I never was in a domestic thing. There's a reason why I never did the drugs and all this other stuff. Now, did I drink? Maybe just a little bit. Because nothing's wrong with a little drinky drink. But there's a reason why I didn't do those things, but there was people around me that did. The biggest one, of course, again, is guidance. But the other side of that too is decision making just was always, for the most part, on the let's do something that doesn't seem like it's gonna make my nerves bad. Like, I'm the person who would like to take the path of least The path of least resistance. The resistance. Why did I just mess that up so bad? The path of least resistance. There we go. But I could have easily been through what a lot of people been through. I could have been in the streets. I could have decided to do all of that. That could have been my reality had I just made a couple different decisions. But again, like my environment, my guidance, and everything played such a part. There's so many different factors that played such a part into my decision making that I was blessed to not go down the paths that being at this rehab facility, I get to hear so many different paths. Like, and all of and the crazy part is the foundation. Some of our foundations boil down to the exact same foundations, but for the most part, my mom might have did one thing that was different. My environment might have looked a little bit different. Like, had any little thing shifted, my whole entire life and perspective and point of view and everything could be so different. So it's just like there's so many factors, of course, again, that play into decision making, but at the end of the day, you as the individual at some point do get autonomy over being able to choose the right thing or the wrong thing. And I think that's why you get a lot of kids that do the right thing and why you get a lot of kids that don't. Like, they literally, there was a study, or not a study, but a quote or something I came across. I don't know if these were real brothers, but it was like there was two twin brothers, identical twin brothers, where they both watched their dad get drunk or whatever all day and become abusive and everything to their mom and everything like that. And one of the sons became exactly like the father, and the other son became the exact opposite of the father. And it's just off of one, the person and what you latched onto, what was going on inside of that environment, how you felt, and everything. Like I said, if I become my dad, I never have to feel what my dad inflicted upon us. I never have to feel that. And then the other side is, which I don't want to be nothing like my dad. So I don't have to make nobody feel like how my dad made me feel. It's just like you either become the monster to protect yourself or you run as far away from the monster as possible so you never have to deal with that the monster has inflicted on you ever. The only bad thing about it is that if you don't become the monster, you possibly run into the monster and now you have to learn how to navigate through the monster. You finally got to beat the monster. And then if you are the monster, you got to learn how to get that monster off your back. So it's just like it's so weird that the way in which we like turn out, like we all can go through the exact same thing and become completely different people. But at the end of the day, like I said, I believe it's all to protect ourselves. It's all to not have to ever feel this again, even though you may end up constantly feeling it again or inflicting it, and that was not your intent. It's so you don't have to hurt. You don't have to hurt no more, baby. I'm sorry. That song just keep popping up on my playlist. I love that song. Like, Mint Condition, y'all was onto something when y'all made that song. Like, this one song for real. But like, you don't have to hurt anymore, and you get to do something different. I think it's hard, or it seems like it never comes because we're in a time right now, especially in this time where everybody's like hurt damn near. Everybody's like hurt damn near, which is why relationships and everything suck and stuff like that. But it's just like you don't have to hurt anymore. And the moment you decide to do something different, you get to attract different and you get to do different and be different. And You don't have to be the monster, run away from the monster, none of that. You get to not ever have to see or feel what it's like for the monster even to be around you, type thing. So, but yeah, y'all, I just think that we're all a bunch of little kids out here trying to protect ourselves as adults. And it's so cute. Especially, it's so funny to see like how it plays out on social media, because it's just like all the people that are getting triggered from behind their computer screen, they're just like little kids trying to fight a good fight that they will never fight with the people that are actually inflicting the pain on them. So they fight it with people who give them some type of temporary feeling of relief or whatever. It's so cute. It's so cute. I don't know. I just be watching everything, and I just be observing and taking it in and everything like that. And like I said, this is just my perspective of like the world I'm seeing around me. But you don't have to agree. If you do, great. If you don't, great. Like, I'm not gonna take it personally. I'm not gonna take it personally. Hey, whether you do or don't, it's just like great. But y'all, I am going to end it here. I feel like I've said all I need to say. And then there's also a whole nother don't take it personal video where you can go, get another version of this conversation. And it's probably a whole different conversation because I hadn't even come across this book yet. So it might be a whole completely different conversation. Because I wasn't at this job yet. I hadn't come across the book yet. And so definitely go check out that episode and see maybe how I've evolved. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it and see, what I talked about then versus now, and see if I'm still in the same mind space. Like, I'm just in this space where, you genuinely don't want to feel bad. And of course, you can't escape it. So I kind of just take the bad days and run with them. I do my best to, do my coping stuff. So I'm listening to my music, or I'm watching my social media and everything like that, or, trying to find something funny to laugh and everything like that. But I'm in a space right now where I want to put out good energy. I really don't want to put out bad energy if I don't have to. And again, like when it comes to family, it's not going to be easy, but it is something that I'm working towards. And then when I get into a more romantic relationship, that'll be another battle that I have to tackle, and not, taking stuff personally, and knowing how to communicate and everything like that, and paying attention to who people are at the core, because I do think that it's going to take a while if somebody even chooses to change, but it's going to take a minute for somebody to change some core things. And so being able to pay attention to people at their core, not to say that you'll take it personally, but I think that, like I said, I don't even know what episode, but like, I don't want to have to combat you like with the last dude. I don't want to have to combat you with my words of positivity because you keep feeding me with your words of negativity. I don't want to do none of that no more. Like, I don't want to have to keep getting concussions to get the point. I don't want to have to, go through the extreme. I do think we do have to learn our tolerance level with whomever we decide to spend the rest of our life with. But I think it should be where, if this is where you're at, that you're working towards it. You have a growth mindset, evolution mindset, like you want to do something different and not do the same thing, because, that's essential. Like, I know where my downfalls are, but I also know that when I can catch it, I'm catching it, because that's just being considerate of those around me. Because if it's hurt people in the past, I know it can hurt people in the future. So you won't see me just flying off the handle. Are there going to be times where it slips? Yeah, definitely. But you're not going to see me just flying off the handle for the sake of flying off the handle. And so I want to make sure that whomever I'm, attracting for a long-term partner, they match that same energy, where if they do this, it's not something they do like all the time. It's something that they are catching, that they're working on establishing a new habit. Because I'm very much aware, because I'm realizing this too, is it's not until you can get into close proximity with the romantic partner that you can start developing new habits, that you're not doing the same toxic shit. And it's going to be a learning curve, which is why, they say the first 10 years of marriage is something to they say that shit something serious, because you have to be learning people, and then of course we're evolving as we're learning. You have to learn people. You have to make it become a habit. You have to feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable about where the pain is, so that it can even become something that somebody's aware of, and then they have to keep catching it. Like, you have to be okay repeating yourself time and time and time again, because again, it has nothing to do with them. I mean, with you, but everything to do with them. Like, you got to be okay with doing this stuff, and vice versa, making sure that whomever is across from you is okay with doing these things too, because this is what we would be signing up for when we say marriage. Like, when you say long term, you're signing up for the bad of this person, with the knowledge of knowing that it can get better, which is why they say for better or for worse. And depending on your person, it might get worse before it get better. I mean, I don't know. But that's why the vows are the vows, because there's duality in that relationship, where as you're learning, as you're growing, as you're evolving and healing and all this other stuff, or uncovering, you're going to be hurting each other, and you're going to have to be repeating constantly, hey, I need this. Hey, I need this. And that, and that, and that. And then as time progresses and you're reminding, and at some point it'll become second nature. You won't have to feel like you have to remind. You won't have to feel like you have to ask. It's just, for a lot of us, getting out of that space is the hardest part, because we think somebody should come in and just know how to love on us, and that's not realistic. It's not realistic, because even if they love on you in that way, it's something else you're going to have to teach them, unless you learn how to cope. And I don't think you want to learn how to cope until death do y'all part. Like, I think you want to, eventually get it on track. And will you get everything on track? No. But, doing the work and showing up for yourself as well as your partner makes it worthwhile. And then take it outside of romantic relationships, just relationships in general. If you keep showing up and reminding people of your needs, and vice versa, they're reminding you of their needs, at some point it becomes second nature. I know that at this time I need to call you because you in bed by this time, but it might have took me 3 months to know that, because baby, I call you whenever I want to call you. And communication, it's a necessity, you know. And again, I don't think no one is trying to hurt anybody out here in this world. Like, honestly, and I said to end this off a long time ago, but like, this is our last thing. Like, on real deal growing and healing and maturing and everything. My guy friend, guy number two, pop back up, whatever. He called me, he FaceTimed me yesterday morning. I don't even know, the day before yesterday morning. I don't know. He FaceTimed me and woke me up out of my sleep. Now, if you know me, you know when you wake me up out of my sleep, I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt, because we haven't been talking on a consistent basis, and we're going to assume maybe he forgot, whatever. But like, he woke me up out of my sleep. When I tell you I had a bad attitude all day, because like, he woke me up out of my sleep and was only on the phone for a minute. And I had to, and I was just like, what the fuck? But what I will say, I didn't communicate that bothered the fuck out of me. So look, yeah, no, we not doing that again. We not doing that again. I may say something because don't wake me up out my sleep. That's crazy. That is crazy. But in the midst of not trying to take things personally, is he was up at work. He called because he missed my phone call the night before because I would imagine he was asleep. And so he just wanted to return the call. He responded to my text message that I had sent to him. Then he was like, I can't stay on the phone long. Just wanted to respond. Whatever. So I'm just like, okay, great. But now don't call me. Don't call me ever again that don't call me ever again that early. Like, don't do it. Don't wake me up out my sleep. Let me wake up out my sleep so I can be a great human being for the rest of the day. Don't do that. Didn't only get on the phone with me for a minute because you got to work. Don't do that. Because I'm not a fan of that either. I've never been a fan of getting on the phone with somebody for 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm trying to learn, but I've never been a fan. I just don't see the purpose. You could have texted me. To get on the phone, especially because when you get on the phone, you like hearing the voice and everything. And he had FaceTime me, so I'm just like, oh, I get to see your face, and then you gone in 2.2 seconds. Like, what the fuck? But not taking things personally. Yeah, but y'all, I'm gonna end it off there. That was just like my little spiel that I'm working, I promise. Grow with me. Grow with me, babe. I don't even think that's the song, but yeah, y'all. So I'm gonna end this here for real this time. It was definitely a good conversation. I didn't know those tears were gonna come up. I think I never know when tears are gonna come up. They just kind of be like, bitch, dare, but personal development sounds girls. So when you're going through things, your body's releasing that you didn't even know was there. So hey, it's all a part of the journey. You're gonna get some tears here and there. But yeah, it was definitely a good conversation. I genuinely hope that this feels cohesive because again, when I'm going through these by myself, I feel like I'll be all over the place until I watch it again. And this is another, I'll be so self-conscious, y'all. But I'm never gonna not post. I'm never gonna not post. But I be so subconscious that I feel like I be all over the place. That some of this stuff don't even be going together, and I just be talking. But then, like when I watch it back, I be like, okay, you was on to something. You was on the money, girl. Stop overthinking for real. But yeah, I do hope that it's cohesive and the conversation makes you think about your own, you know, don't take it personal journey. Um, are there still things that people do that you still take to heart that you don't even know these people? Because if you're online and you comment negative shit, you taking shit personally. You're taking shit personally because you don't know these people from the campaign. That's why, like, I do my best to not speak on nobody's stuff. I don't know these people. And as much as we like to place our own shit onto other people, there's so many nuances that you don't know how they got to where they got, whatever the case may be. Like, you don't know. And you'll never know because you don't know them. And so when people be so triggered by this, that, and the third, it's just like, what's going on in your space? Maybe go work on that and you'll be all right. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, you know, don't don't take it personally. Or like, where are you in that journey? Comment in the comments. Let me know where you are in that journey. Do you excuse me. It was trying to come out and I was trying to stop it, but it had to come out. But do you, take things personally from people that you shouldn't be? Like, do you feel like some of the things that people say resonate even when they shouldn't because they don't know you? stuff like that. That's what the book said, is like, sometimes you may agree with somebody that don't even know you because you were already thinking it yourself. And that's where you do the work. That's where you start to dive in. You don't get upset at the person. You figure out where that stuff is lying dormant and tend to it. I think everybody's a reflection into ourselves, and the only way we get to see that is by external stuff. So, you know, start to go inside, see where those wounds lie, start to nurture and heal them, and you're gonna be okay, because we're all gonna be okay. So yeah, y'all. Definitely tune in with me next week. Please, if you're on YouTube, and I forgot to do this when I started the video, but if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, y'all, and comment and like and all the things, because why not? And then if you're listening on streaming platforms, thank you. Go over to YouTube and watch it, because I'm a hoot. Even though I just be sitting here chilling, relaxing. But if you want to see tears drop and laughs be had, go over to YouTube and check me out. But definitely check me out on all streaming platforms, because I'm all over the place, which is so cool. I'll never get tired of saying that. But yes, y'all have a great rest of the day, night, whenever you're listening to this. And I will tune in with y'all next week. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the I, because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Bye.